Hey YouTube, this is Nashtaters. Welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. So, in this episode of Friday Free Thinking, let's talk about which team you want to be on. Team Agrias or Team Delita? Let's go. So, the story begins, I think it was a few days ago when I logged into my Discord, joining my guildies to see, what our strategy was to do some guild wars / guild battles. And turns out I saw another YouTuber in our Discord, and it was Diggs. You know, as many of you guys know him, he also is a content creator, and he puts out a lot of content. And I was surprised to see him in there, obviously, because I was wondering what he was doing in there, you know? So I quickly scrolled up through Discord and found out that one of our guildies was just kind of on his channel asking him if he wants to join our Discord for some hanging out. And he did, and he came over, and he soon logged back on. And of course, I asked him, I say, oh, by the way, what's your plan for Final Fantasy Tactics Banner? Which one are you going for? And he was like, I'm going after Delita. I'm like, really? Why not Agrias? He's like, I just want Delita. I was like, well, I guess that's interesting. And then he's like, I'm going to make a video talking about Team Delita versus Team Agrias. And of course, I respond by saying, well, because I already was on the Team Agrias banner bandwagon. And I was like, well, I guess I must make a video discussing Team Agrias. And then he was like, yeah, Team Delita is definitely going to crush Team Agrias. I was like, well, technically speaking, that's true, right? Because of the elemental advantage and disadvantage. I was like, yeah, but how about this? How about we settle it like let's settle it together in real life. Let's do an MMA match. And he's like, I'm down for that. And I was like, why don't we just meet somewhere in the middle? Because, he lives on the West Coast and I live on the East Coast. I was like, why don't we meet somewhere like in Texas? I was like, no, never mind. How about meet in Missouri? Because I used to live there, And I was like, afterwards we can get some barbecue and just chill. We had a good time, we're just kind of the banter was going back and forth. And then, the people in Discord, the guildies, whatever, they're like, you guys are crazy, you guys are hilarious. And I had a lot of good time. So I kind of drew some aspirations to make a Friday Free Thinking episode, because I want this to be very casual conversation. I don't want this to be anything serious. Because I don't want people to go out there and try to make the community divisive, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the point of this. The point is to have fun, right? This is a game. And I know many people, in fact, most people are free-to-play players, so they probably have to make a choice either to skip the banner, pick one of the units to go after, albeit Delita or Agrias, right? And then Mustadio, generally speaking, will be tagging along in whichever banner you're summoning for. And unfortunately, I actually went for Mustadio on this free-to-play account, and I got Delita. So I'm kind of like sort of torn, because my pay-to-win is definitely Agrias. That's who I was going after. And if you guys haven't seen that video, check that video out. And then of course, when I was going for Mustadio on this account, I got Delita as a side note, so to speak. So I stopped summoning for Mustadio because I already have Mustadio on my pay-to-win account. So I'm like, either way, I'm building him, right? And I'm gonna have some fun. And I think in the future, anyways, when I start monetizing this channel, all the proceeds are gonna go into the accounts. Actually, let me rephrase that. All the proceeds are gonna go into my pay-to-win account. So transition-wise, the future of this channel most likely will be a lot of coverage in terms of whaling out, right? Because that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Depending on how much I make, obviously, everything is going to go into it regardless, but obviously the whaling will depend on if I'm going to be a dolphin or whale, whatever, in the future, because I know many more banners, many more collaborations are going to come out in the future. So I feel like it's good to cover everything from building them as fast as possible, reviewing the units, and just kind of create more content from that. So I think that's a great way to approach it. But let's talk about, in a casual way, who should we go after? Honestly, it's not that hard to determine. A lot of people, if they want tanks or a unit that's a little bit easier to build and play with, are probably going to be Agrias. I think she's going to be perhaps the more popular one. My guild leader, we call him Dirty Well because he spends a lot of money. I think he's like ranked 14, I believe, now in Arena. Like, he's pretty up there. And he was saying he's going after Delita, right? because he's thinking because he's high damage, it might really help out in terms of damage, in terms of arena. And so, you know, me and him were chatting and we're saying, well, do you think that Agrias is going to be all over the place as far as like free to play, the lower tiers of arena, whatever? And maybe Delita will be in the higher tier. He's like, nah, we'll probably see more Agrias even in the top. And I don't disagree. I think Agrias is in my opinion, a little bit more flexible unit, right? She can heal, she can do the disable. And overall, I think she's more disruptive and she's a little bit tankier, right? Agrias probably wouldn't be able to tank as well. But bear in mind, you know, Agrias is fire and he's going to do significantly more damage to Agrias. So it's kind of a fine balance there. But personally, in terms of design, I definitely prefer Agrias because, you know, I prefer the look that she had, and I always enjoyed her in Final Fantasy Tactics. And then of course for Delita, you know, he's this traitor, backstabber, this dude who's very selfish, very egotistic, maybe narcissistic. And overall, like, he was the traitor, you know, in the story. Hopefully I didn't ruin it for you, for those of you who didn't play Final Fantasy Tactics. But, you know, this game is pretty old, so I think it's fair to say it's probably not really a spoil. But Delita definitely, you know, was kind of like the brother to Ramza. And I prefer Ramza always, and Delita's always been like the back row, back seat. Even though when you get him and you play with him. And plus, I don't like the design. Like you can see him right there. I don't like the design they went with on this game. I think they should have went with more of a darker undertone, since he was kind of evil, so to speak. But nevertheless, I think the element suits him. He's fire. He's very fiery, very angry at life. You know, he's the pessimist that was looking at life from a very angry perspective because of what the stuff that's been happening to him in his lifetime. And Agrias, you know, it's ice, and it kind of somewhat makes sense, right? Because some of the moves that she did in the actual Final Fantasy Tactics, you know, her attacks were ice elemental in terms of animation. So it's perfectly designed for this game. Overall, though, I think if you're needing a tanky unit, go for Agrias. I think that's without a doubt. But currently on our server, I believe Delita is the hardest hitting unit. So if you're looking for an attacker, he's definitely one to kind of go after. Just bear in mind, though, he will be replaced in terms of damage as the #1 spot eventually by, I believe, everyone calls him Bling Stern. So that's something to think about. But Bling Stern is a premium unit, so not everyone's going to be going after him. But I think the fact that he is fire, he pairs super well with Rain. So that's why I stopped, because I want to kind of build Delita, because I have Rain and Delita on this free-to-play account. So I think that's a nice pairing for me to go forward with Delita anyways. And so overall, I think it's important to understand that pretty much most people cannot go after both units. So simply pick one, have fun with it. End of the day, this is all for fun. This is a nice casual conversation. And no matter which unit you're gonna go with, I think you're gonna be happy. And hopefully you get Mustadio to tag along. And just work hard, folks. Work hard, trigger those whimsy shops. And you get a lot of chances for shards for this specific banner. And they did give us a lot of gems, and there are gonna be more gems coming. And lots of free items, right? So I think overall, so far, I'm very impressed with this second go around with Final Fantasy Tactics. And I can't wait to see more, because I know there's a lady, I forgot her name, she has the green outfit. Maybe you guys can help me out and put that in the comment section below what her name was. She had the all green outfit. She was like, I think a knight or some kind, holy knight, death knight, something from Final Fantasy Tactics. I would like to see her. I think she'll be a nice fit. Perhaps green or like wind unit, right? Do lots of damage. It will suit her perfectly. And maybe you guys can put in what unit you want to see in terms of for the next perhaps Final Fantasy Tactics banner. But overall, like I said, I'm very enjoying this event. Hope you guys are farming hard. And I think that's pretty much it for this conversation. It's just, like I said, just a fun topic. But let me see also which team you guys want to be on, right? Put that in the comment section below. And so, yeah, that's all the time I have for this video. Remember, time is your most valuable resource. Use it wisely. As always, until I see you guys next time, take care of yourself and all your loved ones. Nashtaters and his family out. Peace.